is late, my brothers and sisters. And if we're going to stabilize and strengthen our nation and world, then we can no longer wait on another Martin Luther King Jr. It's time for you to be a king.
A call to action for all Americans to follow in the footsteps of a man who changed civil rights history.
Dr. Bernice King summoned a revolution today during her annual address at Ebenezer Baptist Church, a service to remember her father. Now, cities across the nation took part in parades, celebrations, and memorials in honor of Martin Luther King Jr.
And the events took on special significance as this month marks what would have been the civil rights icon's 90th birthday. While thousands participated in service projects and parades today, the tone was one of urgency at historic Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Yes, countless speakers remembered Dr. King's legacy, while his daughter cited a state of emergency, calling for action on a world crisis. As the nation commemorates what would have been Dr. Martin Luther King's 90th birthday, pews were filled at historic Ebenezer Baptist Church. Today's service, the 51st annual commemorative service, and the 34th year that Dr. King's birthday has been observed as a federal holiday. But today's message was not one of celebration.
My brothers and sisters, our humanity is literally on the verge of digressing to two Americas and becoming the disunited States of America. This is a humanitarian crisis, and we are in a state of emergency.
Dr. King's youngest daughter, Reverend Bernice King, ringing an alarm. Her father's dream still a work in progress with many battles to be fought.
The concern and compassion for human welfare across the board is being threatened. In this nation and many nations across the world, we have witnessed the powerful resurgence of nationalistic and white supremacist ideologies that are perpetuating dangerous, damning, and destructive policies and practices against all of humanity.
Today, the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, Reverend Raphael Warnock, focused on a way forward, encouraging unity in the face of division.
Our collective destination is more important than my individual location. And so we got to walk together. We got to stand together. We got to work together. We got to organize together. We got to pray together.
Well, the government shutdown was mentioned more than once during today's commemorative service. Ebenezer's pastor, the Reverend Raphael Warnock, you just heard there, called this stalemate, in his words, a time of narrow vision and petty politicians. And Dr. King's youngest daughter condemned the gridlock and partisanship that led to the shutdown.
When a government shutdown persists to the point that it affects the livelihood of individuals and those in dire need of critical social services, this is a humanitarian crisis, and we are all in a state of emergency.
Well, at this time last week, we couldn't visit any of the King historic sites because of the government shutdown. But Delta Airlines stepped in and gave the National Park Service a grant of more than $80,000 so they could stay open through the holiday. Today, hundreds took advantage of Delta's decision by visiting the historic MLK sites in Atlanta. Fox 5's Carrie Charles joins us live from the historic Auburn Avenue with more on these efforts to keep the attractions open.
Yeah, that's right. Remember that a number of national parks and historic sites throughout the country, they are closed as a result of the government shutdown. That's been the case for 31 days now, was the case for a short time regarding the MLK historic sites. Here along Sweet Auburn, you can see traffic is still flowing. They've opened up some of the entrances and people are starting to move about, but you can see over here at the King Center, the complex, people are still out and about. They are taking pictures, a number of family members out here. But visitors, again, they've been flowing in and out of this community all day. Part of that is thanks in part to that major donation mentioned just a moment ago. Many of the visitors, they focused on the attractions that stand out along Auburn Avenue. Of course, Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Dr. King served as co-pastor. Farther down the street, there's the house he was born. And we've seen a nonstop flow of people taking tours, a lot of foot traffic in this area. We learned last week that Delta Airlines Foundation kicked in an $83,000 grant. I've been speaking with people out here today who tell me this would have been a catastrophic day to be out here and have these attractions closed.
These young ladies started to talk about Martin Luther King, and they wanted to see some things. They wanted to put some faces on some things that we talk about. And had it been closed and there was nothing open, nobody to interact with, to talk to, then it would have been harmful to them, you know, for what they were seeking. They have a heart to know, and they need to know. But had it been closed and there was no access to it, then that would have been a hurting thing. It would have been very disappointing.
I mean, I think it makes a huge difference, the fact that we do have the National Center open and all the sites open for people to visit, just in terms of, you know, showing one of the great things about Atlanta and not letting a political struggle or, you know, the government shutdown put a stop to that.
Additionally, that grant reopens Fire Station number 6, one of the first firehouses to integrate in the South, also the MLK Historical Park. Covering the cost of operations means all sites will be open through the Super Bowl when thousands more visitors are expected in town. Now, we've been showing you people who have been out and about the complex throughout the area today. We were trying to figure out an estimation of how many people would be out here. Coming up tonight at 6, more on why we were having some problems finding that information out for you. Reporting live tonight in Atlanta, Carrie Charles, Fox 5 News.
All right, thanks so much, Carrie. Well, for many people, the best way to celebrate the MLK holiday is by volunteering.
Yeah, as Fox 5's Claire Sims reports now, people all over the city gave their time today to help the community.
These bags will soon bring joy to children battling cancer.
We have a notebook, we have crossword puzzle.
Dozens of people spend their Martin Luther King Jr. Day volunteering at the King Center, putting together activity bags for patients at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
While they're spending their time in the hospital, they don't have to think about their illness. You know, this will help clear their minds, take their mind off of whatever it is that they may be going on, and just to lighten up their day a little bit.
This group is made up of people with several different organizations, including Tyler Perry Studios, Super Bowl 53, and Mission Continues, a nonprofit group for veterans. Jasmine Okakiri has volunteered with Hands on Atlanta for more than a decade.
It's a day on, not a day off.
Just a few miles away, people roll up their sleeves in Clarkston, building benches and picnic tables for refugee organizations.
MLK is a great day to give back.
Whether they picked up a hammer or put together an activity kit for kids in the hospital, the idea for these volunteers is the same. It's to honor King's legacy through service.
It's because Dr. King was all about service, about doing for others to make difference in the world.
The work also has an effect on the volunteers.
The impact is very visible, and I think everyone will walk away feeling like they accomplished something, and they feel connected to their community through service, and I think that's what MLK Day is about.
And the work done here today will have an impact for years to come. Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
In Decatur, the NAACP's DeKalb County branch held its 17th annual parade for the MLK Jr. holiday. The procession began at Green Pastures Christian Church on Flat Shoals Parkway and ended at Martin Luther King Jr. High School. The theme was Remembering the Dream, Honoring the Dreamer. Organizers highlighted the county's sanitation workers, since Dr. King advocated for them right before his death. The event also featured several local school bands. And in the nation's capital, thousands took part in a parade to honor the late Dr. King. Washington, D.C.'s MLK Jr. Parade, now in its 38th year. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders spoke at the event, saying he attended Dr. King's famous I Have a Dream speech back in 1963, and that so many of the goals outlined in that speech about peace and inclusion are things we still need to work on today. As our nation celebrates the legacy of Dr. King, 2 Atlanta streets that were previously named for the Confederacy get new names.
Now, what was once Confederate Avenue is now United Avenue, and what was once Confederate Court is Trestle Tree Court. The City Council held an unveiling ceremony for both streets at the Trestle Beltline entrance near the intersection of United Avenue and Trestle Tree Court this morning. Many residents tell us they could not be happier.
I've been living here since 1976 in Grant Park and Elmwood Park, and I traveled Confederate Avenue not every day, but many days. And we are so proud that people came together to support a name that represents everyone.
Well, as of today, both new street names are official.